Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniela Huskova, and, at the moment I live in Bodaki near Gabikovo, but I was born in the High Tatras. I went out to my parents' house after the laundry. For several years now, I have been interested in traditional Chinese medicine, and the more I learn about it, the more it fascinates me. Because many of you might know the difference between Eastern or traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine. Our medicine. The one we know here, you go to the doctor, and they treat the symptoms. The doctor gives you medicine, and it's mostly chemicals, which usually have side effects. But Eastern traditional Chinese medicine regards our body as a whole and treats the root cause. And it's amazing how our body works together, how all the organs cooperate. And, actually, it's about prevention, mainly using herbs, which don't have side effects. It's a 5,000-year-old medicine, which has a great deal of experience. And perhaps you know, perhaps you've already heard, that the ancient emperor, the Chinese emperor, had a doctor, and that doctor was paid best when everyone at the imperial court was healthy. So, that says it all. Today, I would mainly like to talk about women's health, because our women's health is connected to hormones, and every woman goes through various stages in her life when hormones cause us fluctuations and problems. We have pain, we have mood swings, and it makes life unpleasant not only for us, but also for men and the whole family. But it doesn't have to be that way, even though we are the bearers of life, and we simply need those hormones for our lives. I'll explain. Anne, I have quite a lot of experience with these pads, Anne. Every woman needs sanitary pads during her productive years. The ordinary ones we buy in the shops have been causing us really big problems lately. Gynecological problems such as thrush. Women suffer from cysts. They have fibroids. Today we've already heard about endometriosis, about polycystic ovaries, and a great many women can't even get pregnant. And this is caused by the fact that we use pads that we usually buy in the shop, and which I also used for many years, always. But what is the difference between using pads that are amazing, that are from the company Vieda, and the ordinary ones we buy in the shop? So, the ordinary ones in the shop are made from plastic and recycled waste, which is bleached with chlorine. Very often, the surface is, even when you touch it, you can really feel that it's plastic. What bothered me most about those pads, because I had a very heavy cycle and needed these pads for 8 days, was actually the backside, because there's plastic there as well, and it causes a greenhouse effect. That means microbes multiply at that time. And often those pads are also perfumed, which isn't very good for our mucous membranes either. So, now, onto these treasures. This treasure is made from breathable cotton. It's very pleasant to the touch. And inside, to actually absorb the liquid, there's a Japanese-made polymer, agar-agar. And what's special about this pad? And when I looked at the back here as well, just as I mentioned with the previous pad, there was that greenhouse effect. In fact, even on this side, it's breathable. So the pad actually breathes. And what's most special about this pad is, well, I actually chose it myself. It's this anion chip. It's a magnetic chip with infrared radiation and nano silver. It's actually a plant fiber interwoven with tourmaline threads. What does this do? So, anions. What actually are anions? Well, people don't even know what anions are, and the company Vieda uses anions in a lot of their products. Anions are actually negative ions. In fact, we couldn't live without them. They remove dust, kill microbes and viruses, and so they have a negative charge, while those viruses and bacteria have a positive charge. It's basically like an air purifier. So, when there are a lot of anions in the air, they can eliminate these viruses. If I wanted to put it this way, in the city or in our flats, we have a very low level of anions. But if you go out into nature, to the water, to the mountains, the concentration of anions is much higher there. And in these anion chips it is really high, it can be measured. So this chip causes what is known as the thermo effect. Infrared radiation creates a thermo effect and has a beneficial impact on the uterus, on the pelvic organs. And we know very well that if we were to drink tea, if we had some gynecological problem, it would take much longer than when we apply this directly to our mucous membranes. There, it enters the body very quickly, so the hormones are calmed. As I mentioned, when I was using those always pads, my cycle lasted 8 days. I had pain and mood swings. But when I started using pads, different ones, not the usual ones you buy, I found my cycle shortened to 4 days and I really didn't have any more problems or pain. So, I recommend these pads to every woman. We have daily, nighttime, and also these panty liners in the range. These are much smaller. And even for ladies of a more elegant age who don't want to hear anything more about pads, because we've had enough of them in our lives, I highly recommend them. These also contain that anion chip. They help to strengthen the pelvic floor. And if you have problems with urinary leakage, they're excellent. And even women in menopause need to balance those hormones. I have a lot of experience with women who, on their doctor's advice, there was one client of mine, she was 42 years old, she had very serious problems and the doctors wanted to remove her uterus. When she started using different pads, everything settled down for her. She didn't have to take hormones and felt much better. I personally had a uterine fibroid. It shrank. It got smaller. I told the doctor, no, because he was also trying to scare me, saying the uterus had to be removed. But I said, doctor, give me some time. I use different pads than the ones you usually buy in the shop. Fortunately, he was quite open to this kind of alternative approach, and my fibroid really did disappear. I know that men often don't like to hear about pads and such, but these pads, if you use this anion chip, help with hemorrhoids. We've heard that if you moisten this anion chip, if you have a toothache and you apply it, it really helps a lot. For pain in the hump, and for other things, if you have back pain, this really is a treasure that has replaced medicines for us, so we don't have to take them anymore. I am very grateful that my friend Renatka Kutnama introduced me to this science, and when I saw that it was traditional Chinese medicine combined with technology, I didn't hesitate for a moment. And I am very grateful for that because it means I can help others. I use various other things as well. Of course, I always have it by my computer. We use the glasses at home almost every day, and the cell activator too. And at the moment, I have a friend who has started using the red elixir. She has cancer. So maybe, sometime later, I'll tell you what the outcome was. So thank you very much for your attention, and we hope that in this way, we can help many more people to get rid of medication and be much healthier. Thank you.